Around the time Anakin Skywalker had turned 13, he one day started to sense an uneasy darkness around him within the Jedi Temple that only he could feel. This likely began following his return from a mission where he had experienced his second personal kill. Yet unlike Anakin's first act of taking someone's life, which he had done reluctantly and in self-defense, and deeply regretted it immediately afterwards, his second one was closer to murder. This was due to the fact that the most recent victim was a cruel slaver named Crayon, with Skywalker not only confronting the man with the intent to kill him from the start, but feeling proud and justified afterwards as well. It was the very first time that the dark side brushed itself against the young Padawan without any resistance. Nevertheless, the initial darkness Anakin felt at the temple continued to progress more and more throughout the day, with him later seeing random shadows appear too. Despite his best attempts at ignoring its calls, it soon became too much for him to handle, as during a meditation lesson, Anakin began to feel like something was choking him, screaming out in terror before being snapped back to reality by Master Sinube. Running out of the training chamber to calm himself, Anakin attempted to explain what he felt to Sinube, believing that there must be something evil within the Jedi Temple causing his distress. But the Jedi Master dismissed Skywalker's concerns, suggesting he was simply misinterpreting the insights the Force was showing him, and that returning to his room to take a break from further training for the rest of the day would put his mind at ease. Of course, this advice did not help Anakin, with these unexplained feelings persisting well into the night. Unable to take it anymore, Anakin decided to sneak out of his room and attempt to find the source of this darkness. While moving throughout the temple, he was discovered by Tip Lee, who heard him outside her room. Despite Anakin telling her to ignore him, Tip Lee decided to secretly follow, concerned about what he was doing after witnessing his freakout earlier. As Anakin continued to follow his senses, he finally made his way to the Jedi Council chamber. Once inside, the shadows he was seeing that day morphed before him into a dark entity. Igniting his lightsaber out of fear, Anakin demanded what it wanted of him. The mysterious force stated that it was the darkness he was destined to become. Refusing to listen, Anakin clashed blades with it out of anger, only to soon find his lightsaber vanish out of existence from his bare hands. The dark entity then revealed Jedi Younglings within the chamber cowering and screaming for help. Anakin's confusion at the new scene quickly turned into determination to protect the Younglings, but the entity only mocked him in response, stating that their fates were already sealed and there was nothing that he could do to change it. Refusing to accept the nightmare around him, Anakin attacked the dark creature out of hate, force-pushing it across the room with all of his might. The dark entity responded in kind, engulfing Skywalker with lightning from its hands. Unable to do anything but suffer from both the physical pain and mental anguish of his powerlessness, Anakin started to succumb to the torment. However, before losing all hope, an image of Padme flashed across his mind. Remembering her beauty and kindness to him all those years ago finally allowed Anakin to return to his senses and regain control of his emotions. Feeling the love for her appear within his heart, the dark entity started to vanish as Anakin returned to his state of inner peace. Having been told by Tip Lee of his apprentice's whereabouts, Obi-Wan finally arrived at the chamber to find Skywalker in a confused state. At first, Obi-Wan believed his Padawan was playing another prank, but after realizing it wasn't a bit, he brought him back to his room, where he could finally get some sleep. Yoda later told Kenobi that his apprentice clearly experienced a powerful vision, but only time would reveal its meaning.